What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back with another installation of the double shot, and this time we're coming at you APL LCQ style. Man, it's do or die time over here. I'm the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run. Say hello, Whiskey.
That's right. Welcome back, everyone. Another LCQ, and we are coming down to the end. NA and EU are done. Those teams are identified, but it's time to find out who is going to make it in Asia, and then tomorrow we're going to see kicking off SAL as well. So just 2 regions left, my friend, and man, what a great game we have tonight. CAG versus Enter Force.36. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at the bracket, and yeah, Daystar, Team Anio still in, CAG, Enter Force, All Gamers, Souls Hearts. We got a chance to cast some of these guys earlier in the tournament. I love that they made it all the way here to the LCQ.
Yeah, and now it's starting to get into that do or die time. Let's take a quick look. There's going to be some familiar names on these teams, Run, as we've been through this process before.
Yeah, especially because we're talking about T1 teams here. Yeah, CAG and Enter Force.36. Now, CAG, I mean, for sure, everyone knows this team. One of the greats over in the Asia Pacific League. And, man, they came in second in Reload earlier this year. I guess last year, as it is. Reload 2025, losing to Furia in the end. But, man, what an epic run they had. And that was after their incredible play as a part of the 6th Invitational. They were like one of these fan favorites early on. They lost to Unwanted, but man, what a run they had.
Absolutely. And yeah, just capturing the hearts of many countries. So there's going to be a lot of folks that are in the CAG corner today. But Run, to get there, we got to find out where in the world are we going, right? So we got to set the battleground and find out what maps we went to. Maybe a little fortress action. Let's check it out.
Man, we're not going to get to see Fortress here in APL. Unfortunate, my friend, because of how much we wanted to see this map. How much we got to see it as a part of the NA. It was awesome, honestly. Loved that we got to see it so much. But one of our new favorites, Lair, making the list here to start this thing off. And then Chalet, man. It really has been a bit of a roller coaster for Chalet in competitive play. Felt like it had fallen completely out of favor, but it is back.
Man, the life cycle of a map too, right? Chalet encompasses that beautifully. It starts out defensive side, it falls off the map, comes back internationally attacker sided, and then now is just a fun point of contention, a middle map in the series of best of 3s. Well, Run, I think it's just about time, right? It's late here, 10:22 is where we're sitting, so we're locking in for the long haul. Get your deep G fuel and let's get going.
That's right, my friend. It is time to start Lair. We're kicking this thing off, and man, once again, just appreciate everybody joining us here on the Siege Double Shot 4 6th Invitational Last Chance Qualifier as we head into Asia Pacific. CAG versus Enter Force.36. E36, my friends. Where are we going to see the bands end up, brother?
Man, I was going to say, this is a big question mark for me. We don't get to see a ton of Lair as it just kind of gets banned out repeatedly. So we're going to see the Mira and the Tuberau taken off early. No real surprises there, right? Mira is that stand-alone ban. You're going to almost hit it every single map because she's got such a viable capability on almost any site that's being played. So no surprises seeing that one. And with the Tuberau getting taken off the board means we're going to be putting some special attention, some special investment into making sure that we open everything up. Now, here's what we're looking at right away, Run. Defensive sided, they were going with some absolute pace setters right out the gate. I honestly think I'm a big fan of this combo move here. Tachanka, Smoke, Maestro, Azami, and then expecting some potential shield play with the Ella on board as well. I'm not a Tachanka fan, and you know this. I was a D1 hater, but in conjunction with the right operators can be a force to be reckoned with. We'll see how he hits his lineups.
I mean, that's a good point. We have talked about that one over and over because it's honestly a great debate amongst the Siege competitive players. Where does Tachanka play? Has he moved into that top spot for the defense? And there's a few sites where he really feels like he can make a significant play. We're talking about second floor Consulate and second floor Lair as two of those places. But in conjunction with the smoke, you need that extra area denial to really make this thing work. So I think that's a great play here from this team to make sure that they have got both. So Asuka and wow. Love that we're seeing the intel from the Maestro as well, because that feels like a significant factor as well. You got all this area denial, but make sure that you can find where exactly the attack is coming from.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be a big, huge first pick as they're going to find the Tachanka off the board. That's one of those big question marks, right? It's very slow to get the job done, but you don't lose all of your area denial when he gets taken down. A quick man advantage over to Kag, as now they get so much time to be able to suss out and isolate any of these other defenders.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time left in this round. You're talking about only 1 minute gone so far. They're going to work, again, the intel here on the attacker side, opening up some of these windows. And you can see the blue outline sort of spread out a little bit around the map, opening up these that operational side is such a critical push point. So they have got the outside balcony, the outside mezzanine catwalk there opened up, and now they've got the inside on operational side. So the attack has got a lot of these pieces in play already, and we're only halfway through the round.
Yeah, and there's going to be a second one. A grenade going to ring out. A long shot takes Ella off the board. Means man advantage now by 2 for Kag as they can start to really put the pressure on. Right now you're looking to solidify one more, get yourself inside, and get ready for that execute. Bees are out. They're starting to see some of that vertical pressure as Deimos is firing up from below. Or not, excuse me, that wasn't Deimos. That was the Grim. He shot some bees through the floor run and then decided to take a couple of shots, a little bit of a floor bang.
Doesn't I love that play.
But check this out. Smoke now is but a bullet. He does get all of the canisters out now as he's got a little bit of that stall out, a little bit of that slowdown. It's going to be into the hands of Maestro to try to bring this one back. They finally get a couple of shots off the board. Plant's starting to go down. This is where that Maestro is going to come in huge.
Oh, is he going to get it? Get it!
But he's going to get the potential down in the process. No, he survives. He stays alive. And that's going to be now a 3v1 all up to Maestro. An LMG to bring this one back. The bees go out. He's going to be sussed out. Now they know where he's at. It's going to force him on the scenic route, rotate back into sight.
Man, what an exchange there. I thought we were going to see potentially the Maestro kill to take down the planter. He's a 1v3 scenario. 20 seconds left. Gonna peek one. Nina going for it.
Okay, well, gonna try to just stick the plant here, or stick the defuse, but has to get off of it. And with 3 seconds left to start it in a 2v1, just not a very possible moment. Is gonna get the kill. A potential for the completely close out on the other side, but no time in which to get this one done. The quad kill rings out. He did enough. He had enough to get the job done. Time just gonna work against him on that one.
Yeah, I love the fact that, you know what, go ahead and throw bodies, just continue to distract. You're going to let him pick up the kills, but not give enough time to actually win the round. The attackers pick a win upstairs on the second floor. And, I mean, great job, great play there by the Thermite. Our Cully just got everything open. Early on in the round, they had the 2 main breaches done, and it really felt like Enterforce wasn't putting a ton of pressure on it. Losing the Tachanka early, significant blow to this team. And rather than try and go back to that second floor again, they're going to go ahead and play the basement this time around. Similar setup. Instead of the Tachanka smoke, they're going to go smoke Goyo, which I know you love that setup better.
Yeah, this one just feels a little bit more comfortable, and if only because when you're switching out from the Goyo canisters to or from the Shumika launcher to the Goyo canisters, you get a vector to go along with that, right? And in this quick peak, this jiggle peak arena, speed is going to be your ally. So they see the Tachanka taken off the board first, and they say, well, you know what, let's go ahead and send it on the Goyo side. Now, of course, we're also down in the basement, which is a Goyo favorite, so no surprises on that one.
Use a bomb.
Now, you mentioned the shield and the fact that that Enterforce had prepared for it on that previous round, bringing out the Owl. This time, though, Anatune's going to run the Monty, so they were not shield heavy on that first round. They didn't need to be. They managed it with the plant in play without really relying on the shield. So this time, we'll see if it makes a big difference, because now Enterforce didn't bring anything specifically to try and deal with that shield. They brought along the slowdown of that to the Fenrir and the Aruni here, trying to burn some of this extra intel. But you take a look, how much roam do they have? Tons here from E36. They've got 4 of the players upstairs on that first floor. It's not heavy, nobody on the second floor, but plenty of opportunity to slow this team down and force KAG to go top down clear.
Yeah, potentially. Like, right, because there's so much soft breach, and now you're going to see the mute targeted, and they're going to get ripped right off the board. Huge first pick as the support, as Thermite's able to take one down. So, man advantage yet again early. Now, the good thing is he's got his util down, right? So those mute jammers still going to be in effect. The bad thing is we lose a shotgun, we lose a C4, and we lose the main advantage.
Yeah, 2 opening picks here for KAG to start this thing off. That, you know what, we still have a lot of Siege to play. If you're just joining us, it's a best of 3 between these teams in the opening playoffs in the APL SI LCQ. So, but the fact that you're talking about East 36 losing the opening pick twice in a row is definitely a tough way to start it. And man, how about a 5v3 to start this one off? We're going to see it, Jay take a couple shots, not hit anything though for his efforts.
Yeah, well, feels like an unfortunate cast for this is going to get ripped off the board. No vector to be had here in the late round, and just doing a beautiful job of finding that shield to take that space, put that pressure on, and allow the homies to push up and take those gunfights. KAG just looking really good here on round 1 and 2 run.
I mean, there is a reason that this is a T1 team, came in second in reload, and I know there's Force.36 fans in the chat, no question about it. You guys showed up early and often, but it is, you know what, I don't want to say David v. Goliath at this point, but it certainly feels like going up against a T1 team is a tough way to start this thing out. Now, this is KAG's map pick. We expect them to be very strong on Lair to start this thing out. Chalet is E36's pick when we get to map 2, so we'll see if they can try and bounce back.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
two
many bombs as they
defensive
can.
losses, round losses to start this thing out, though. I got some question marks here to start this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of adaptation needed here out of Enterforce here. And what's the adaptation going to be? I believe we're going to take it to the first floor. And I kind of like that because it's giving you that potential for vertical hold both above and below. So maintaining that split defense could potentially be that wrench in KAG's attack.
All right, as we get into it, you're going to see the shields come out this time again. KAG, the Monty, very successful, and now Anatune on the Blackbeard this time. So they're going to sort of bounce around. Feels like not really giving anything specifically for E36 to focus on besides the Thermite. Thermite opening up these sight lines. It feels like when you have the E36 defensive bands where they get rid of the Ying and the Blitz, they don't want to play those cheese ups. You want to force the attackers into playing that fundamental strategic siege. And honestly, it really feels like that's a strong suit here for KAG. They've been very successful at using the Thermite to get all of this open. No breaching out on the E36 side, so Enterforce is just letting them, you know, play that fundamental, but not really trying to deny it at all, which honestly feels like a bit of a miss. If you're going to ban the cheese ops, force them into opening up the sight lines, at least try and slow them down a bit.
That's right. So Rotero drones just having a lot of value right now as they're just destroying all of this extension util. Specifically is the castles. A little bit of flank watch now as the tracks go out. A Fenrir gadget going to slow down that process of taking that space. But honestly, Run, 2 minutes left, and I was going to say everybody's still alive is a huge first step. They're going to find the shield off the board very early, and that's a huge advantage for Enterforce going into this round 3.
That's a big boost here, and they haven't lost the opening pick. I was going to say, gee, Man, they just couldn't keep that advantage for more than just a second, and oh no for eForce. You know, I thought this was it. I thought they were going to be able to hold on that opening pick a little bit longer, give them a man advantage. It was at least taking a lot longer to get to that point. I mean, we're talking about just about 1 minute left in this round. They do have some of these sight lines open. They had that main breach, but they really have not been. Kag's not been successful at really pushing Force back. So it's the focus here for this last 50 seconds. But a lot of the battle still happening upstairs. You can see still have got to the Warden playing in Master Office. And the piece that I'm a little bit worried about here from Force is they have nobody really holding on to the R6 side. That could give Kag an opportunity in an enter.
Since Gadget is out, destroying some of that visibility. Fenrir on the flank already did a little bit of damage, but some done onto him as well, so he's now just but a bullet. They got an idea that potentially sitting over there on that side of it. Shureef's able to take one down, and that's going to claim a man advantage by 2. And if you're a Kag fan, you're feeling pretty good about that for this last 21 seconds. This is the plant start going down, and they're looking for
what a
wherever
play
the planter is, but not able to find it just yet. And so yet again, post-plant scenario. They have the vertical, though, and that's going to be a huge piece of the resistance here, as it's all going to be up to Denari to try to bring this one back. A 1v3 post-plant scenario starts to spell disaster as he drops down the hatch.
Wow, unfortunate for Force. Really struggling right now. So they play the second floor, lose the defense. They play basement, lose defense, and now Kag has gone 3 in a row on attack. Very successful at playing the fundamental siege, opening up all the sight lines, playing vertical than E36 has been throughout the entire day. Tough start. Now, I gotta say, we're watching the SILCQs for both of the EU and NA. Tons of times we saw a team lose all of the rounds in that opening quarter and adapt, right? Name of the game, especially if you're looking to make your mark at the 6 Invitational, figure out a way to adapt. So the good news is, Force has seen how Kag attacks on all 3 of the sites at this point. Now they can make those adaptations, and they're going to have to try and do it without the Flores. Honestly, feels like this Kag team got a bit of a boost by being able to keep the thermite.
I don't know. I love this Flores call, right? It's going to take away some of that extension util. And when you're looking at who got banned out on the other side, it's a breach now. That means that Castle's going to be left up. Azami's going to be left up. You can't force any movement with those Roteros onto the Clash as well. Feels like a good ban, especially how often Kag was bringing that to the table. We'll see if that makes the difference. This defense stacking up for some pace settings as they go back up to the top floor.
Yeah, I think you brought out a great point, right? Nina playing that the Azami, so good at holding on to the office area, just to be able to try and protect from the operational side push. So good at holding on to that. Now, in that previous, the last time we saw the second floor, Kag got an entry in, able to shoot her in the back of the head before she really had an opportunity to make a significant contribution to the round. So, got to be able to hold on to all of those locations, prevent that, and keep her alive just a little bit longer. But the fact that they lost both of the opening walls very quickly, we need to see them. Boy, I was gonna say maybe try something different, but our Cully is right there again. We're talking about 30 seconds into the round. They've already got one of the main breaches open.
I love that they're just being very fundamental in the way that they're making these clears and these attacks, right? They're checking off the boxes, and they're doing it quite quickly. Step number 1, get the walls open. And step number 2, get some intel on your isolation. Step number 3, claim a man advantage, and then get ready for the 3-2-1 bingo call for the collapse onto site. This first bit of engagement is going to have to be seen against the Clash. As the flashes ring out, he's already moved up, and he's going to open up that wall. And then air jab goes out, means pressure on the Clash is going to be there. Now they can put pressure on both sides of the site, as the main breach and opened up here is going to make a huge difference.
And we're going to look back at this map and say it feels like Force made a mistake not banning the thermite. Right now it's just too good. The fact that we saw how good he was across all 3 of those opening sites, it really feels like that's going to be a bit of a mistake. I know Flores was good. I know we had the opportunity to try and push some of those players out. But man, right now, our Cully is just doing too good. 4-1 as well. Kag is just on a roll.
Smoke's going to go out as it tries to stop that pressure from the site overplay. A shotgun in hand is going to try to see one, but look at
No
that.
way.
Absolutely deleted. Huge play, as now those flashes in the hands of Nomad and Thermite going to be extra potential now that you've taken the special goggles off the board.
Yeah, it certainly gives you another boost, but the opening pick again for CAG, man, they are on a roll. They just have not been able to gain any sort of an advantage here, and boy, making a little bit of a rookie mistake there, opening up the opportunity, exposed his legs. I mean, yeah, it was a good idea to try and slow the attackers down, but a quick prone completely deletes that play. So Clash is in position to try and prevent the default plant, but honestly, with 25 seconds left, even in a 5v3, feels like this may be Enterforce's best opportunity.
Yeah, well, it definitely is because of time for sure. They get a trade back, finally stop the flow of bleeding, and that's when he caps down. Nomad both go down, looking towards the kill onto the Thermite as shots are ringing out, but it's not going to be done in time, and that's going to see the plant starting to go down. A shotgun looking to claim one, but they're not going to be able to do it. It's all up to Wamai now to bring this one back into contention, and man, I'm not saying there's no hope, but it's a little hope, and in fact, there it is, a headshot. They knew exactly where he was at. They take him off the board, and it's a good night, sleep tight. 4 up, 4 down for CAG.
Yeah, they're absolutely on fire right now. They seem to have they seem to have an answer for everything Enterforce has thrown at them defensively, right? Managed to get the opening picks, no problem opening up the sightlines, taking down those slowdown operators, managing the util. It doesn't feel like Enterforce has been able to find even a slight way to slow this team down. They are absolutely on a roll here to start this thing out. So it's the first map of a best of 3. Plenty more Siege left to be played, but Enterforce has got to show some signs of life here just a little bit, my friends.
Absolutely, and what's that look like if you're on Enterforce's side, right? What's that change? What's the adaptation? Well, honestly, I love what we're seeing come out. There's a couple of similar operator choices the last time that we saw Basement, right? Goyo and Castle back on the board, so still allowing for that extension, still allowing for that pace setting capability that both of those can bring to the table, but then they switch it up on the other side of it. Solus and Scopos being brought out, so an investment into the intel, right? An investment into a little bit of that lurk play, and an investment into Time Torch, which is going to be their biggest ally going into this next round.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that I love the Scopos. I think she's got a great gun, great opportunity for trying to really change the game very quickly with relocation and you know, playing the lurk. But against a CAG team that is moving very quickly, feels like they're all over the map instantly. I don't know that that is going to be enough of a hold to slow down here at this point. So we got some faith in Nina though, playing upstairs on that second floor. Big lurk play here from them, but you know what? Already droned out at this point. So it felt like, right, CAG just has all of the information, all of the drones in the right places, nothing really slowing this team down. And now that you've got Shuri playing the Dokkaebi as well, it's going to make it even more difficult for the roam to work here. So you're going to have to work really well. And man, just as we say it, G goes down, the Malusi gone. Passive util is in play though. But again, the opening pick goes CAG's way.
Oh man, just a huge game sense as he almost is able to find a kill, and then all of a sudden hits to return fire, right? Vertical play works in both ways. A couple of shots down, almost sees the Dokkaebi's life forfeit in that process. They are going to claim a man advantage as Malusi goes down, so a quick 5-4 now as Attack is going to get themselves in a couple more boxes checked and get themselves set up and ready for an execute, which they have done very well so far this series.
I mean, Nina's still holding on to this vertical play, but it's a dangerous spot. Look at this. They did not realize he's upstairs, but what a whip! Oh, no. Tragic for Enterforce. That was the huge opportunity and just could not hit any of those shots. Now it's going to be stuck. Oh, I guess not stuck because it's Scopos. Downstairs in the basement, everybody back on that bottom floor with the exception of the Solus, still holding on to the lurk here. And what a shot! Goyo wins that.
Boy, then he needed that too, right? With 60 seconds, this can start to go into the favor of Enterforce here as they've just got to stall out. They've just got to find a couple of those kills to take that number advantage a little bit more. Again,
Harper?
TCSG is going to find one, but it gets answered back. Ganglis is able to find one now. Oh no, not the double. The ring's out. It's all going to be up to Moogie now. Is
Moogie!
there a 1v1? Castle versus the Monty to try to hold this one out. 33 seconds, and now Interforce's best chance at potentially finding themselves a win and putting themselves closer to that standard split. Malusi Gadget, the Banshee's going to go off, and we're going to be looking for a little bit of a back plan. He's here in the corner, a potential to do something about it right here, right now. He gets off just in time to keep himself alive. He's going to go back for that plant yet again. Just keep the pressure up. He's going to be
Oh no, he's going to get it!
This time, I think he gets to stick it. Oh, doesn't need to. Anaton, pistol popping, body dropping. Huge play by the Monty.
Man, that was it! Enterforce finally going to pick up that round win in the basement, the 1v1 at the end. Man, it looked like that was so well played for those last 20 seconds. 15 of them flawless. The problem is those last 5, and KAG comes out on top one more time. 5-0 start for this team. Can we avoid the 6-0? Enterforce, there was so much hype from this team coming into this match. Them to be able to hold on and put up a great showing versus KAG. We thought this was going to be one of the better, more balanced games across this APL bracket, and right now, KAG has come out swinging.
Jesus, first kill for Anaton too, and he is just absolutely beastie in a clutch moment, a double fake plant, and then a pistol pop on the body drop, finds themselves 5-0. Just a very dominant performance on the attack side by KAG this thus far. Now, a 5-1 would say that hope is not lost for Interforce. If they can win this round and then display that same sort of presence of mind and that same sort of pressure that KAG is bringing to their attack side, we could get ourselves a game going back into this. But a quick reminder, this is KAG's map, right? So we expect them to be good. We expect them to have that knowledge on the attack and hold it out onto the defense. You just don't want to get absolutely swept, though. That is a mental shocker.
Yeah, this is not the way that E36 obviously wanted to start it out, but it doesn't feel like this is the same team that we have seen play across the board as part of the open qualifiers. It doesn't. This is man. Right now, it feels like a little bit of a beatdown here from KAG Osaka to start the LCQ playoffs off. Now, not the end of the road here. Take a couple shots. Nina's going to try and hit 1, 2, but misses those again. Unfortunate, and that almost feels like the name of the game. Missed opportunities for E36. If they've had one or they have not been able to capitalize on it. And look at this, a little bit of a run out from Nina. Finally, they're going to get the opening pick on round 6.
And that was just barely, right? Lots of shots coming out for to barely get there in the end, but they do. They claim that man advantage, and that's a huge first step, but Shureep's going to take Nina off the board in an answer back. So which one was the better play here? I'm still feeling like Interforce had that first good play right out the gate, and that could potentially help them see at least one defensive start here. Minute 44 run means they're going to have to just time and torch the heck out of it. They've got those canisters. Hello?
W play.
Sleep tight.
Man, and I know coming into this match, you know, we were talking with Happy about whether or not, you know, who was the people to be looking out for. Nina was top of that list, ex-teammate for this KAG team. Goes for the run out early, but then loses his life in an unfortunate showing. They're still holding on to the man advantage, though, but look at this. If you had to guess, Arcully opening the main breach one more time. They're just absolutely on fire. The good news for Enterforce is all of this action is happening upstairs on the second floor. They still have to make the transition down to the first to be able to get that plant. And 1 minute left to do it. Now, Enterforce, hold on to that man advantage, my friend. 4v3 as we get down to that final count.
Grim Bees to go out looking for some locations to be revealed, but nobody really in place to get sussed out just yet. So in that 4-3 and 40 seconds left on the board, the pressure is starting to mount for KAG, and pressure is relative. I mean, pressure for the round. They're feeling pretty solid in their 5-1 start. Now into a 4-2
okay,
as
Moogie.
Moogie's able to take Shureep off the board. And yeah, honestly, feels like their best potential here to find a round. But we've seen this fall apart before. We've seen the collapse on the site still be a dominant dominant performance, you got to keep that body balance active. 17, and it's going to be the rotate outside. Looking like maybe Enter Force might catch their first.
Honestly, they can sit back, hang back, and just relax and wait. And Keg doesn't necessarily need to try and pick up a round here. Obviously, going a 6-0 half would be unbelievable way to start off a best of 3. But you know what? They have got to be very comfortable with their performance so far on Lair, picking up a 5-1 half. But E36, let's go, my friends. It is not a sweep here on the first half of the playoffs.
Okay, I'm not feeling terrible if I'm Enter Force. I'm feeling a little bad, right? We did go 5 in a row before we were able to kind of solidify ourselves a round win, but not all hope is lost in this first map. Right now, you just have to bring that same aggression that CAG was bringing to their attack side of it. And what do I mean by that? I mean opening every wall, forcing the defenders to get into disadvantageous spots and then getting cut or hit by the cut route. Or by the cuts that were set up. We'll see if they have that same sort of success. We're on the precipice of a match point scenario very early on.
Yeah, and from a CAG perspective, they have been very good defensively across the board. So, and even though we started to see, it felt like some signs of life from Enter Force and specifically Nina on that and J and G on that previous round, I don't know that that is enough yet so far. They're going to have to be much more aggressive on the attack. CAG was moving very quickly across the board, making all, like you said, talking about opening up all those sight lines. This is something that they showed a tremendous amount of success with. Enter Force is going to have to match that same energy on attack to be able to put that same pressure here on CAG.
Well, we're looking at a very similar lineup, at least what they're showing right quick here, right? Deimos is on the board. We'll have the movie onto the shield to make sure that they're taking some of that real estate and then just open everything up. Thermite's rework has made him an unstoppable force because usually we see that Thermite and Ace brought along because you needed 2 hard breach operators to make sure that you got all of the avenues into sight done and work with them. Now that he's got 3, he is a one-man breaching machine to get all that opened up. On the defensive side of it, though, a very similar play as well, right? They're leaning into that double area denial. Both Tachanka and Smoke on the board could be the difference maker, bringing the Smoke instead of the Goyo, because it's going to let you get a little bit more directional, right? A little bit more precise with where you're stopping that flow coming in at. So we'll see if it's going to be able to stand behind those Kiba barriers and stay alive. I think Deimos is probably going to have something to say about it.
Yeah, I love the Deimos play here. He's one of the great attacking operators here on Lair. One of the reasons we see him played out so often. But look at this, that mute jammer works on that main breach. They've got it shut down. Now, they do have a shield over on, with the Monty to try and open some of this up. But nice one-way set up there from Arcully holding down, and then the long shots from the Tachanka, slowing down the shield push. Right now, it feels like this CAG Osaka defense is locked down and distracting the second floor. We're hoping we're going to see the Solus and Shurip downstairs, maybe going to catch a vertical kill, but he is being hunted by the Deimos.
Man, that Kiba barrier setup, that's going in the rank book right there. A beautiful little one-way will give the Tachanka some potential to hold off the approaching shield, and that's exactly what's happening now. Locked into a corner and gonna start taking some damage as he's just getting onto the outreaches or outlying area of the fire. So first kill goes down. That's going to see the Deimos off the board. Main advantage back into the hands of CAG, as that feels like a blow run. I'm going to be honest with you. They take that man advantage. They've got so much on the area denial, including 3 of the smokes still left. Still that vertical game of the Solus down below. Man, this is looking dire here at a minute 7.
Yeah, right now they've basically burned all of the Shumiko launchers. I mean, he still has 8 left at this point, but that's a tremendous amount of utility, and it's completely slowed this thing down and allowed Smoke to just save all of that utility until the very end here. Harper's going to try and push through it, and Anatun is right there ready to just shut him down, and now in a 5v3 scenario, very familiar situation for CAG to be on top, even though they're on the attack this time.
Man, and Nina has got the shot, has got the spot, but unfortunately is doing very reactive siege and not able to get that kill, and instead pays for it with their life. Now into a 4v2 with C4 to ring out and claim one as well. Oh, there it is, the lurk, the Solus, the problem, the shotgun, the find. Now Shureep onto the triple kill, looking for a shotgun on the prone position, and it's a good night. Sleep tight. Kag on a match point scenario.
Just played that very well across the board. The operational hold there, the combination of the Tachanka and Azami, and Tachanka was hitting all of those shots exactly in the right place. A combination, backed up by the mute jammers to make sure that the attackers couldn't open up the sight line to put some pressure on the Azami to split their attention. You know what? Just well played overall. Allowed Smoke to hold on to the stairs on the other side of the second floor, and it was a suffocating defense that Enterforce had basically zero opportunity to try and find any cracks. And man, you said it early on, to lose the Deimos, to lose that vertical, really the only opportunity they had to take some shots and distract the defense upstairs, goes down early, and once again puts Kag up in the man advantage, and they continue that suffocating defense all the way to a match point scenario here on map 1.
Okay, a little bit of a pinch point, a little bit of a tough spot, especially for map number 1. And here's the question. Are you just calling GG's on it and get to your map pick and
no way!
Fight it out in that
no!
5 seconds left.
No, I don't think they should.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I was just responding to, do you call it GG's? No way, brother. We're in the SILCQs.
I'm not gonna lie. You scared the hell out of me. Oh, okay. So, yeah, probably not going to be the play, but in a 6-1, potentially is the mindset. Win it on your map and then battle it out in 3, potentially. Oh, my Lord, run. Okay, I'm awake now.
Man, you know what? I want to see them just get absolutely active right now here and try and when you're on this 6-1, right, for sure the fundamental slower siege just does not feel like it's working against this defense that is so good. So I want to see. It feels like I want to see him take some chances, but when the fact that you're on a 6-1 match point, you only have one opportunity for those chances, and take a look at this. Solus gonna try and take a shot. The nade goes out, and no way. Shureep wins that one. Another opening pick for this team, near flawless. It was only one round we saw Enterforce pick up that opening kill, and man, just absolutely on fire. And Nina tries to answer back in a big way, though, with minute 46 left.
Yeah, that's taking one of the top frags off the board for Kag, and it's taking away one of those lurk rolls as well. Now, unfortunately for Enterforce, they still have somebody still on that first floor bunks area. Wamai looking to hold down sight just as much as he can, and they still got the vertical, they still got the extension, and they still have the smokes. So with a minute and a half, going to look to need to see some sort of unequalizer as Enterforce, they need to get a pick or two and get themselves ready for that execute.
Yeah, boy, when we said suffocating defense, the fact that it is backed up by the smoke and that he still had some utility in pockets certainly makes that difficult. One more still in hand, and great shot there from Arcully, and man, just absolutely on fire right now. Cannot be stopped. It's a 4v2, 50 seconds left. I don't feel like we're going to see the end of those 50 seconds, though.
Potentially not, right? Capitao is on just a very low health scenario, and the Dokkaebi pings are used up. So as the flashes start to go out, as the diffuser is cold, means they're going to try to find some sort of equalizer here, but you got to know defense is not going to throw bodies. They're going to stay completely calculated and try to take their map number 1. Pressure up towards the top as the fire rings out, looking for that potential prone position down below. A couple of shots, not able to find it just yet. Shotgun still in hand. Now worse for Capitao as he is literally just a bullet left, opening up onto sight and try to put the pincher on between the top and below, and there it is. They find it. The second one rings out, and that's going to be Kag taking it, and they're going to do it dramatically run.
Just absolutely locked in throughout that entire map. Kag was looking fantastic and comes out in a huge win. A 7-1 on map 1 of this best of 3. What a play overall from this team. Great defense. They just could not be stopped. Small moments of brilliance from that Force team, but not nearly enough to be able to shut down the T1 CAG team. Second place Reload, and they are looking to make their mark in SI 2026 in Paris. One more opportunity, though. This is it. Last chance qualifier playoffs, my friend.
That's right. So here to make history, and CAG starts out in a very definitive win on Lair. It's their map pick, though. They're expected to feel more comfortable, feel more confident on that one. Now we have to head to Chalet, and this has been a fun one throughout the last couple of times that we've seen it, right? Internationally attacker-sided, but that doesn't mean that the metas completely go away. We'll see what's being brought to the table. You know what to do. You know the deal. You know the drill. We got to get this lobby set back up, so sit back and relax. Because we come back, it's the second map. Ayo.
Let's go. Control of the IT vertical space above storage and do exactly what we would have looked the defense to do during the plant, which is take out the planter or at least get the kill off the back of the crossman.
For this attacking team, 55 seconds left, and it's all on the shoulders of Badham.
Had the intel, but no. Badger grabbing away. Another. The pokey.
Pokeball Hydra says, I choose you, Joker.
Kiss my ash. You got 0 cents. Your IQ is low.
Did you make that up right now?
Yeah, right now on the spot.
I just want to touch on mental health. If you're feeling out of it,
They put together a hell of a club sandwich. Sledge must have been the bacon because he got fried.
A whiskey! What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. Man, I love that intro. Somebody made that for us. Shout out Lightsy. What a cool video. Man, I love this game. I love this game. CAG, dominant performance, Whiskey. They just rolled through Lair like they own the place.
Yeah, they were doing everything right on their map pick. Very dominant performance overall from CAG. And honestly, Force, I had much higher expectations from that team coming in. I know we talked about it. There was some fans in the chat. This is their opportunity, though. LCQs. It is a double elimination bracket, so their hopes aren't completely dashed if they lose this best of 3. But honestly, fighting through the lower bracket is a tough battle to try and fight through. So we've seen some great teams do it, as a matter of fact. TSM G2, a couple that come to mind. Can CAG be that team? Can Force be that team? Well, we're going to see which one makes it through this best of 3 on top to move on to the upper bracket semis.
Man, okay, so map number 1, Lair, almost done flawlessly. Now we move on to Chalet, and I'm excited to see how this one's playing out. We've talked about it a couple times during the pre-show. Internationally attacker-sided at the moment, right? So it's in its third phase of its map life cycle at the moment for comp, and I like the way that that's playing out. Fortunately, that means that we're going to have to see Force get active early on, right? And hopefully on CAG's side, we're seeing some of that first floor play. You know, where do you choose your Tersh site at? Are you a top floor? Are you a bottom floor type of team? It's all on the line right now for sure.
And this is it, my friend. It is time for Chalet.
Okay, here we go. Chalet, and this is going to be Force's map pick. So a little bit of comfort, a little bit of you're feeling like you're going in your map pick. This should go your way. If you're not mentally chalked, you're potentially bringing this one back, hoping to see that map 3. Map 3 is Kafe as well. So kind of heading into one of those defaults afterwards, if they can reach it that far. The big problem is you got CAG on the other side of it, right? And not just CAG, but a CAG that is absolutely frying right now. So the pressure definitely on the side of Force to perform here on map number 2.
As we saw the bans the last time around, this was the big question between the cheese ops, the shield plays, really both of them sort of wanting to get rid of the cheese across the board. Mira, Tubrel, Ying, Grim, Ying Blitz, Bandit, Clash. I mean, it was not very consistent from a ban phase perspective. The big one though, Force taking down the Azami, and that one feels like one of the better picks we've seen. Kag was very successful with the Azami, although we really only got to see them on 2 defensive rounds. I think that she's very powerful on this map, so it's going to leave all of the hard breachers open, all of the breach denial open, and still going to give the shields,
Defenders,
still going to
protect
have
your
the
bombs
blitz,
from
still
being
going to have
defused
the
by attackers.
Blackbeard. So this is feels like a couple
Attackers have
targeted
discovered the
bans,
location
but certainly the fundamental siege is available and necessary on both sides.
Okay, so one of the things, though, when you're taking the Azami and the Clash off, you're making a big decision here because it's leaving one of those key operators on the board. You can only have 2 out the gate, so you got to decide which one's going to be the bigger problem, and they leave the Mira up on the board this time. So we head to that bar gaming site, means that default, we're going to see a Mira up top
10
and
seconds
potentially
remaining.
a Mira. Oh no, they took it to the closet. So it's a double Mira setup,
5 seconds
as they're going to
left
have a
before
huge investment in holding on to that top floor, in holding on to that
Attacker's
vertical.
objective is to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, holding on to that the stock area, certainly an important part, and we saw this as part of the NA LCQs, that even when you're holding on to the bar gaming site downstairs, it feels like it is such an important part of the attack to make sure that you open up the that hard breach wall that faces into stock from the fireplace stairs. And Force on the attack didn't bring any ranged breach operators. Matter of fact, they didn't bring any breach operators. That feels like a bit of a miss, and it is going to make the Mira play in stock very powerful unless Force can be unbelievable up top at the vertical.
Yeah, not just unbelievable, but there's outside of the breach, didn't bring along the Twitch or anything like that. Now, huge value out of the Clutch drones right now. They're getting cameras, they're getting Banshees off the board. So a lot of value being brought by the Clutch drone as they're able to take some of that extension utility and deal with it. But you're still going to have, like you said, that top floor play.
This, and we talked about the top floor. I mean, the attack, heavy focus upstairs on the top, and not even over on the library side. They're making sure that they clear this entire map out. They're making sure that no CAG operators are holding on to some of those lurk positions. So they're now finding some of this extra intel, and look at that, try to maybe stop the Flores drone. They're gonna lose it at the top of those blue stairs. So you can see all the blue outlines. They gave away all of the office side for free. They have got a very strong hold at the top of these blue stairs, and right now, just gonna let G go to work with the Flores and try and clear some of this this defensive utility out. That Tuber well timed though, as that final minute of gameplay starts to tick down.
Man, Vector's going to reach out and claim a headpiece, and that's going to be a huge first pick as the Brava gets taken off the board. Fortunately, there's already been some clutch work, so they're able to at least get something out of having that person dead, right? They've got some of that utility down, but a huge first blow if you're Force. The second one to ring out as Vector claims it again, and that's the problem with leaving that Vector on the board, leaving that Mira on the board, and run, it just falls apart.
No way.
Spectacularly for Force. They're taking space, they're claiming real estate, and then it's just over. And you know what? They're going to do it in a flawless style. CAG just on an absolute terror right now.
For sure, I thought that we were going to see a significantly closer battle between these two teams going into it. We were talking about it before the broadcast. I mean, that was it. This was a matchup of all time here, looking to see, can one of the great T2s take down CAG? And right now, it seems like the answer to that is a solid no freaking way. CAG has got this thing on lockdown once again on defense. You know what? We didn't... Even though they gave away tons of map control there to Force, allowed them to sort of have all of the opportunity that they needed across the board to open up, to set up that top floor. No real resistance, no real time waste. The defense was just too strong even when it was concentrated. And Force really struggling right now. So what's the signs of life? What do we need to see from this team? You know what? I mean, they're showing the Amaru, showing some of this this crazy util. I think the fact that they're going to pick up some of these ranged breach, I think is a great call at this point, because you need to open up some of these sight lines on Keg, force the defenders out, put some
10 seconds
pressure
left.
on these guys to force those 2v1 scenarios, and holding on to the
5 seconds
second
remaining.
floor site. We'll see how much of a presence they have over in Library. Right now,
Attackers are
again,
moving
does
out to
not
locate
feel
a
like
bomb
a
and
ton.
defuse it.
Man, top floor bomb site, and on the basement they're reinforcing, right? We are extended, or at least roaming all the way down into the basement, and it's a little bit of a split up here as well, because Shurif is sitting onto that first floor as well. So not only are we looking at time torch capabilities here, but now you have to get bodies down there to put some pressure onto this Solus, because she's going to come up and bite you in the butt with that lurk, with that flank potentially. Already a ton of intel going out from the Solus as they're looking at that library approach.
Solid play upstairs, and I mean, I wouldn't call the Solus here on the lurk, but it feels like Enterforce, at least, they haven't lost the opening pick yet. All 5 left alive, a minute into this round, and honestly, that doesn't feel like it should be a win con at this point, but right now, they're holding on. This is it. Great opportunity for this team. So is looking to see where the defense is holding on. How about jaywalking across the window?
Huge first pick, honestly, right? You get that opening, you get that entry, you claim that man advantage with so much time still left on the board. They've got a way to deal with some of that extension as they're going to start opening up the wall on the solar side of it. That feels like a good first bit of play here for Interforce, as now they can kind of solidify themselves a little bit of time to suss out just suss out exactly where the defenders are. One thing they didn't know was where he was sitting. That's going to be a run out and a huge one, but it does get answered back as they still claim that man advantage. Minute and 13 left, and Interforce kind of on one of their best opportunities to claim a round.
And I feel like we have said that several times, but man, look at this. Just trying to clear out some of this utility, not really making it happen. Explosions happening all over the board, but right now, Enterforce, do not throw this opportunity away. You have a single man advantage. You're talking about one opportunity to try and hold on to it, and Anaton, man, just shuts them down, puts it at 3-3 now. It's not the end of the world, but Enterforce, they're making just a few too many mistakes, allowing CAG to put that extra defensive pressure on and not really having a good answer back at this point. All right, a little bit of a util dump in, but you're talking 28 seconds left, and it does not feel like they have got the map control or even an opportunity right now to get this execute down.
Man, what a beautiful mechanic there, too. Did you see that rappel action? That's one of the newest features here in CJax, is that just cutting corners, don't have to get off the rappel to do it. Ooh, gonna find one slipping. Anaton goes down, and all of a sudden, we find ourselves in an equalized 2-2. 5 seconds, though, as the pressure is definitely
What a great play!
Rooney goes down, but and they find it. Nina's going to take that kill, and it's going to get it done by deaths as they start to get the defuse down. And look at that. Just like that on Interforce's map pick, we get tied up 1-1.
Okay, and if you look at the scoreline, you say, finally, it's a tie game, back and forth battle, at least to start this off. But round 1, flawless for Keg. Interforce didn't really feel like they had the options there for the execute. So I'm glad that Interforce got it done on kills, but certainly a little bit off the back of Nina having a great game. We talked about what an insane player they are.
Attackers need to locate.
Can
and
they
defuse
hold
as many
on
bombs
and
as they
be
can.
that force here for E36 to carry them forward? We're going to see CAG go for the full rotate here. They're going to play the second first floor site, pick up the kitchen and dining side, and look at this. Anaton playing the Cade, hiding, trying to avoid, see whether they can catch this team off guard, because they have not really brought anything to do with the hard breach or breach denial when it's on, because that has not been a hallmark so far of the CAG defenses.
right? They did bring that Hibana last time to open stuff up, but like you said, didn't
10
have to
seconds
deal with
left
that
before
breach now.
insertion.
I love the strat of hiding the operator, not knowing exactly what
seconds
you're
to go.
bringing to the table, and then it becomes a big question mark. Who is it that you're hiding? You know, obviously Clash is
Attacker's
banned out
objective is to
here
defuse
right
the
now,
bomb.
but that was a big strat that we watched with the Clash. Maybe are they doing something different and bringing along a Cav? Nah, well, they're not, but, you know, one can always dream, of course. Either way, going to be hitting down on the first floor, which means now they're going to be able to have a little bit of a question mark when the attackers get here and try to put those summer charges on.
Great play. It is going to be difficult here. So they do have the map. Nina playing the map, so they do have the option to try and get some of those walls open. Chalet gives some opportunities to be able to pull that off that are relatively low risk. You don't have some of the same like easy C4 plays that you do on, say, Nighthaven Clubhouse. So Nina's got to be in a position to be able to open up those walls and try and hold on and keep them alive. So problem is downstairs on that the snowmobile side, so going for the basement play to start off, and that is a slow execute here for this team.
Yeah, but this is what they've been showing, right? Players all the way down in the basement, players onto the first floor, and that's one of the things that not only that extensive run game very early on, but also the jump outs can start to affect the pace of the game. Now, it's not just get a drone in and make sure that space is clear. Now you got to put bodies down there, right? And now you have to not just put bodies down there, but you got to put bodies down there and be careful of the run out, which happened twice in that last one, right? So, you know what? Lots of preemptive play here out of CAG, just really trying to set the pace for the rest of the round.
And great play there from the Brishamile side, using the two-brow to slow this thing down. I mean, you're talking about a minute 16 left. If you can burn 20, 30 seconds there with the two-brow, but man, Harper's on fire, takes a great shot from the rappel. You know what? Maybe CAG's taking a few too many chances at this point. A 5v3. Now we're talking about the best opportunity for E36.
Yeah, no kidding. Maintain that man advantage. Time is not quite in their favor, but still plenty of it left to have. So they find one more. They're going to be in a real good spot to get an execute going down for sure. Now, it is a couple of low healths on the side of Enter Force, right? Maverick is but a bullet. Lion low as well. So, you know, finding a couple of the full players off the board could be a huge advantage right now. Off the window, that's going to be one of them. The double rings out. The numbers get equalized, and now you're in a 3-3, 30 seconds left, and CAG looking to put themselves on a second win.
And the fact that they had 3 C4s, and one of them already picked up that kill, so that was a huge play. Take a couple shots, goes for the prone and own. That's going to be another C4 coming out to try and take down that window, so some huge explosives in the hand, but DD Man is there. No way! How does CAG turn that around? And we see Enterforce throw a 5v3. Man, tragic for this team.
Yeah, that's going to be a VOD review later where they're going, man, what in the world? We had the advantage, we had the time, we had the space, we had the intel, and then we lost the round, right? Looking for some Fabian-esque style quotes here, and you're losing your ones. We're not isolating well. And in that, because of that, on map 2, with CAG already up by 1, they take the scoreline advantage.
Okay, if you're just joining us, welcome in everyone here to the LCQ Asia Pacific League. One opportunity left for these teams to try and find that single open spot to make it to Paris. It's a best of 3 battle between these two teams. We're in the upper bracket still, so the loser moves down to the lower to try and fight it out. And right now, CAG is absolutely on fire. 7-1 on map 1. 2-1, including one of those a flawless round here on Chalet. Enter Force.36 needs to step up in a big way. Doesn't feel like they've shown those signs of life yet. So now what do they have to try and deal with? What opportunity they have? I like them getting rid of the Mira on the defensive side. Right, Mira was very good at holding onto that stock side. CAG immediately plays into the bar gaming side, so they lose a significant asset there, but that was a flawless round for this team to start off. So Enterforce still has a lot of work to do on this attack side.
10 seconds remaining.
Defense back to the bar gaming. They've got
5
themselves
seconds
set
left.
up for a potential play downstairs into the basement, even though nobody
Attackers
sits
are
there
moving to
currently.
defuse the bomb.
Still going to lean into that ghost pressure scenario. If it's locked up, that means potentially someone's playing there, so have to get bodies on it. And I think Blackbeard might be that first person in through garage to try to do that. A bit of a spawn peek right here by the Malusi. Gets himself into not going to find anything just yet, and a little bit of danger as they start to take the roof.
Yeah, DD Man had a couple great shots at the end of round 3. So you know what? Push the advantage. You know, show that you are the better mechanically gifted player. Take some of those shots. I think that is a great call at this point, especially when you're holding on. You know what? Playing the Malusi, all of that utility is already down passively, so you can afford to throw some bodies at that because Enterforce has shown they're completely capable of blowing even a 2-man lead.
Yikes. Tough one. Tough pill to swallow, but it is what it is. Still on a chance to tie it up here. They've taken some space now. They're starting to collect some real estate, site over side of it. And honestly, no real resistance just yet. They're about to meet some on the piano double. A quick swing, and that's going to...
Well played.
Man, Blackbeard finds that kill, and that's a huge first pick, right? They claim the man advantage. They still got both of their shield heads, or spear heads on the board, which means they're going to be able to take some space, and they're going to be able to do it in a hurry.
Perfect use of the Blackbeard there, shielded, forcing the defense to try and hit the headshot. Shoe Reap gets close but misses in the end. And all right, Enterforce, man advantage, opening pick secured. Let's go, my friends. Definitely not the win con at this point, but it certainly can't hurt as we get into that final minute 13. Really looking forward to see this team push this advantage. They still have got the Blackbeard. And if KAG continues to take some of these chances that I don't feel like they need to at this point. They could hang back just a little bit more when you're talking about that final minute of gameplay. They're giving Enterforce the opportunity and just baiting them in to take the shot.
50 as it starts to count down. They've now made their control towards blue, which means they can start to put a little bit of that vertical pressure on. They've got a hatch down into sight. Second one not quite opened up as it's reinforced, but this was a big part of the play. But it's time starting to count down now. They really need to find another pick. C4 is going to potentially ring out. Oh, not C4. I don't know what that was. Oh, Rotero drones.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Getting active and finding that. They're going to find another kill, but now the answer back. Warden, special goggles on. They're going to be in a little bit of pressure here out of the double shield as they looking for that same sort of pincher maneuver, and they find it. It's going to be Blackbeard onto the triple kill, on pace for the ace now as the SMG-12 rings out and claims one. Plant starting to go down. C4 is going to be there. Not going to find the kill just yet. So 3 seconds left. No chance to stop this one, and Blackbeard breaking out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece, baby.
What a great play. That right there was the round we needed to see from Enterforce. And it kind of felt like KAG was throwing that one just a little bit. I know they felt like they took some extra chances. And honestly, that had been working for them round after round. So why not? Go for that. Enterforce, though, finally answers back off the back of the shield. The double shield play to just gain sight control, hold on to stock. I was going to say early on, if Enterforce was going to lose that round, when we were at the 35-second mark, they were still clearing utility in library, still clearing utility at the top of Mez. It took them forever to try and gain some of that, the complete control without the bulletproof cams, without the shields in play, to give them freedom to move around. It was extremely late for them to be able to clear that utility off. Ultimately, they're able to convert that into a round win, but I would have been significantly, more disappointed with the way that round had played out. It still was feeling very late, so there's still some things KAG or Enterforce can work on. But you know what? Take advantage of KAG mistakes. Let's ride this thing on your map pick.
10 seconds left.
If we're calling this map attacker sided, KAG's already put their
5
quota
seconds to
in.
insertion.
Well, honestly, both, right? Depending on how it plays out, either one of their
Attackers are moving out to
one
locate a bomb
is already
and
hit their
defuse it.
quota. So anything outside of this is going to be icing on the cake. Defense is going to lean into some of that slowdown. The Fenrir now making their way on board. Take away that visibility. as the attack starts to make their way in. Hibana back on the board to open some things up, and this time they've got to Twitch, and I think that's a good adaptation, as now they get some of this extension util off the board, specifically looking towards those Fenrir gadgets.
Yeah, I do like that play. They should be able to use it quickly enough, and Kagas is generally been playing pretty close to sight, not having very big roam games overall, and we're seeing a little bit of that. Shirip's holding down on bar, and Arculli's holding on to library entrance, but that's mostly over on that blue side. So look at this, they're gonna burn those Aruni gates upstairs, just eating some of that utility. But the fact that it's so easy to use the Hibana pellets at this point, I think that was a big boost to her as well. And honestly, I almost expected to see more teams play the Hibana early and often as the alternative to Ace, but still feels like she is on the way up at this point.
Flash starts to ring out as they put some pressure towards that solar area, sitting at the top of the stairs. Fenrir gadget to go out and slow it down. And Grenade starts to make force some movement as they pushing themselves in onto that solar side. Shots onto the bathroom. Huge play as they're able to find that first one. Open it up, trying to put some pressure from that solar window. They're going to get those pellets off the board, which means they're going to maintain that man advantage and send themselves into a hurry up and wait scenario.
Another opening pick from Kag. Good thing we're not betting on this right now, because if you were betting on Enterforce, it's just a tragic play so far from this team. They're really struggling to get that opening pick. Kag is right place, right time, and winning the ones when they need to. And you can see the bulletproofs going off. Still, utility in play. They do have the Twitch, but it just feels like a too little, too late kind of a scenario. Bulletproof still up, Intel still going out. Enterforce, where are you at on this attack? It's doing very spread out. This is going to have to be a tremendous collapse.
Oh, man. Well, that's a good first step. They find one, but it gets answered back immediately. Now Gridlock in some trouble as well as the Grismots go off and the grenades ring out. She's going to find her life.
Oh, so close!
To a 4-2 scenario for 4-1 as it's all going to be back up onto the Hatch Queen. Then she's going to find one. Looking for a second towards Piano. One close, but they don't know. And it's a shotgun in hand to say goodnight and sleep tight.
Yeah, the timing felt completely off on that push at the end. Just too little, too late as Kag picks up another defensive win. And when you're taking a look at the way it played out, right, you're pushing in too late. Again, all of the intel there. You still had some of this this offensive utility, the flashes in hand, but the timing was just off. Flash goes out. Needed to reload the weapon, and none of that worked out. And Kag punishes Enterforce for the mistakes upstairs on the second floor. Right, back and forth battle. Actually, my friend, so far we've seen neither team pick up any real momentum. No steam at this point. They've gone 1 for 1 as we head into the final round of the half. You know what? If he's thinking defensive stronghold here, if you're not thinking it's an attacker-sided map, Keg putting in a little bit of the work. Enterforce is here when they needed to. So what is it going to be? 3-3 split, the back and forth, secured, locked in. It's going to be kitchen dining as the final place we see this play out. And Enterforce have done a good job pushing the solar side overall. See whether or not how much time they take at trying to make that big transition from over on the library mez side to the vertical on top of site.
And here's where I'm feeling a little shaky,
Attackers
right?
must locate and
If
defuse
I'm
a bomb.
calling it's attacker side and Cag goes up a 3-3 split here, almost spells disaster for Enterforce, as they're going to be put on the back foot very early on. So the one that they can get, the 3-3 split that they can get, still feels like it goes into the favor of Cag for this one. But, I mean, it's not over till it's over, and that's obvious. Bana going to start opening up all these castle barricades and allowing them to start putting some pressure onto some of these top floor players.
Yeah, and ever since that big 4K back on round 4, just really have not seen any significant movement there from the Enterforce side. So they lost that round 5. Now it's time to gain this momentum back. Trying to put some pressure here on this team. So they haven't lost the opening pick yet. At this point, a little bit of intel coming in. And overall, Cag is fairly well locked down over again on the the library, the office side of the map. You see one shot there from Shurip is going to be the guy, and look at that. Pokeball to end his life. Another opening pick for Kag. Man, they are on fire.
I love the Pokeball kills. I choose you, and now Blitz starting to put some pressure towards Blue, and they're running, but you can't run for that.
Down!
It's closed. The pistol pop's gonna see an easy body drop. Shurip goes down as that man advantage gets equalized up, and honestly, still plenty of time here for Enterforce to work to find that next kill to take that man advantage, and then ultimately get themselves in place for an execute. Step 2, though, is going to have to be opening up that kitchen wall, which is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it just feels like Kag has not had significant roam game. I mean, one single visual roaming, and we're still feels like we're seeing Enterforce move a little bit too slowly on the attack, finally opening up some of these sight lines. But, I mean, they're upstairs now just starting to make that transition over. The bulletproof's still in play. The vertical still held on from the defense. There's 55 seconds left. They need to make some serious moves right now, and they're trying off the back of Nina and the Blitz, but, man, just one bullet away from death.
Takes the Blitz down, unconfirmed onto the kill, and then the DMR is going to ring out and take one, so turns
bonus
this into
health.
A true 3-3. Yeah, so if he gets even a little bit of that smoke, he's going to go down in a blaze of glory. Starting to make their way towards 45. They've got it opened up. Now the executes go off the chassis, potentially to be the thing. Smokes off the long distance, and now
no C4
opportunity to do so. Some charges go in. They're going to be able to find themselves on the plant as the smoke canister's not able to deny it. Huge play by Enterforce as they're looking to tie this one up.
W execute from this team. I mean, that was exactly what they needed to pull off. No C4s, and the smoke missed its mark, allowing the plant to go down, and good hold. Do not throw this thing away in the post plant. Macaulay looking for that shot, but it's 22 seconds left, my friend.
That's right, and they do find the kill. In fact, they find a second onto the Dokkaebi, so it's all going to be up to the Selma charges to keep this one
what
alive.
A whiff!
And well, and they get the kill, and they've got enough time. Can they get back to do it? They
no
can.
Way.
With 2
no
seconds
way.
to spare, they get themselves the defuse going, and they're... Oh. I thought that was
down.
the other guy. I was like, what?
Don't tell me you got off the plant there. Kag. W play at the end. Enterforce throws the post plant scenario, and man, what a tough way to end the half. The defense goes up 4-2 on the first half, and there it is, finally broke the streak of back and forth as Kag finds 2 at the end with that post plant play, and they were close. Came down to 9 seconds left for the counter defuse to start, so Enterforce was right there. I thought they had it, my friend, after the miss from the smoke, allowing them to get the plant. That should have been the hold, but Kag played the post plant perfectly with a double play over on the mez drop and on the stairs to put pressure on the ace, who was holding outside of sight. And Dokkaebi was there, loses the battle. So now we see the side swap. Mira and Azami going down to great stronghold operators. Kag knows what they're doing. And Enterforce not wanting to deal with those roaming operators. Take down the Dokkaebi and the Grim. Honestly, good bans on both sides. Kag still feels like this is I don't want to say unbeatable team at this point, but they have got some momentum behind them in this best of 3 that's going to be difficult
Attackers
to overcome.
need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
I
they
love
can.
the bans, especially on the attack side. Grim and Dokkaebi just absolutely OP operators. So you know what? You're right. Get them off the board. We don't want to deal with them, and get them on out of there. Enforced. We're going to start up on the second floor here, and to do so, it's going to be a fairly standard lineup, right? We're going to deny some intel with mute on the board. We're going to try to slow it down with the Banshees, the Grismots, and the Laser Gates. And then, of course, Warden, special goggles, special plays. He'll be that stopping force, trying to take down whatever flashes and smokes they bring to get that execute going. Will it be enough? On map number 1, Kag was absolutely insane on their attack side. Well coordinated, well thought out, well developed, and well played. It's going to be on Enterforce to bring this back, and I think they can do it. It's defense on Chalet. Feels like that's a good move. We'll find out together, I guess.
Yeah, you said it. CAG was on fire. If you're just joining, it didn't catch Lair as map 1. CAG goes 5 in a row to secure a 5-1 defensive half on or that was attack on Lair. Yeah, just absolutely locked in on attack. 5-1 to start that thing off. And honestly, it could have been a 6-0 half. They just got close. They started playing a little bit more loose. Enterforce took advantage of it. And you know what? They've carried that momentum here, at least partially, into Chalet. But it's, you said it, Enterforce map pick. Their time on defense. And there it is. Takedown, DD Man.
Man, huge play. Just a run out, a pistol pop. I said, hello, I see ya, I hear ya, good night. And they needed that. That was a huge first pick. And they get the breach off the board, which is going to make all of this last minute and 57 just a little bit tougher, right? Now you still got to deal with the vertical. They can put a little bit more attention onto that as well. They find the second kill as the button goes down, now into a 5-3. A real good spot for Interforce here on the defense.
Just checking in on some of the other games. X-Chiefs had picked up their map 1. Daystar picked up their map 1. So we're getting to see some of the others taking place on those streams and try and throw up those stream links. As we get down to this final minute and a half, Shu Reap takes down a Mugi. I thought they were holding on to a significant advantage, but it is starting to come back. 3-4 is not big enough yet at this point, and now we go 3-3, and that's the diffuser going down.
Right, there's a C4. It's
Oh,
a place, but they don't
no.
get into the right spot. Oh, huge miss by the C4. Plant's allowed to go down. They're going to take the Elo off the board as the retake starts to happen. Sense goes down. Numbers get equalized. Deimos is but a bullet, so this is still winnable for Interforce, but they've got to find the Nomad. That's going to be the big critical push point, and they are locked in the corner on Hookah Bao. Ooh. Air jab goes off. Deimos is going to find that. Now it's all going to be up to the Warden run. A 1v2, an SMG-12 in hand, looking for a free kill potentially. A quick swing is going to see it now into a 1-1. Shots towards the Hookah Bao.
Is there enough time?
They're not going to find it just yet.
No.
Air jab potentially there to solidify it. He's going to start onto the defuse. They're just going to hold on to it. He has to stick it, and there's just... I was about to say, there's just no way that he can do it. Goes for the kill, knows that it was over, takes it anyways.
Okay, that is 3 in a row now for CAG as they picked up the final 2 in their defensive half and then the opening on their attacking side. Enterforce, they were showing some signs of life on their map pick. They picked up 2, second floor and that first floor on attack, but CAG has just been overall too good, too consistent across the board for Enterforce to manage. So as we're getting down to it, we're getting close to the final couple rounds of this best of 3 unless Enterforce can step up in a big way. Kafe is waiting as the decider, but Enterforce has got to just crush it for the final half here on Chalet.
Yeah, we're almost in that you have to be perfect for scenario. CAG's on that match point yet again. Interforce has effectively doubled the amount of rounds that they got on map 2, so a good start, but not enough to be viable, right? They're still playing very reactionary siege instead of taking that aggression towards them. They get that entry pick, they get one on the run out, they're forcing some of that ghost pressure, and CAG still just responds. They're not to be slowed down even a little bit. So this time, we go back to Bar Gaming. This time, they're going to close up both of the hatches, right? They're not going to give CAG a chance to get down and into sight while still maintaining that vertical. We'll see how they get it done this time.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they've got the confidence internally to try and hold on to that vertical piece, and it's such an important part, and it's one of the reasons why we're seeing CAG as the T1 team. Enterforce is struggling at this point right now because, to me, holding on to the vertical, just giving that library operator the option to try and back off after killing a bunch of time is worth more than a couple of the reinforcements and giving that space away for free. So they are holding on to the mezzanine, so at least putting a little bit of pressure on that the library push in, but it feels timid. It feels like a more timid way to play that round, and it doesn't feel like that has been working overall against this CAG team. So they're not matching that same level of energy, and you know what, CAG can take a little bit of time, clear out some of this defensive utility, and we're talking about a minute 52 in. Taking a shot there doesn't hit. He goes for that the air jab, and man, they just look. It feels like uncoordinated right now here on the defense.
That should be the strong point. And they're holding on. They've got some of that top floor control, right? The big point is we've already seen attack take some of the critical space needed, and that's a big pinch point here. Locked up onto the mez, waiting for a potential rotate. Nia in a real good spot to make the play if they go unsussed out to push in towards blue. Elysian Goo to go off. Now knows that the pressure's going to be coming from that side. Looks at the wrong area, though. It's Blackbeard making his way up. Shots. Nina goes down as the wall bang happens. C4, though, takes Anaton off the board, and that's huge. That's the spearhead done and dusted off and close to being the frag leader. He's tied up with the Capitao currently. Now, they were closed. We're going to start getting some hatches open because now they've claimed all that vertical space. They pushed the defense completely back down into that turtle up, that bunker strat. And with 47 seconds, this could play out as a defensive... Dang it. I was going to say, could be a defensive stronghold. They find another kill off the board, so main advantage back into the hands of Kag now, into the hands of Kag by 2 as they're looking for a match point scenario. Shoe Reap in through Bar Gaming. First bit of contest here. Smoke rings out. They're going to take the smoke off the board as Shoe Reap's onto the triple kill. Looking for that top vertical. They claim the space, they claim the area, and they claim the kill. Shoe Reap breaking out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece. Now put onto a match point scenario.
What a W4K there for Shoe Reap to send to match point. And it's not just match point, my friend. It is match point, map point, and now best of 3 quarterfinal point. Kag Osaka is 1 round away from taking down Enterforce, sending them to the lower bracket, moving on to the semifinals, and locking in what has been a very dominant performance overall across both of these maps. Crushing on Lair, just suffocating 7-1 victory.
Attackers need to
B36 found, some points. They looked better on their map pick, but overall, Kag has just been, right now, just better. Not only in attack, on defense, on both sides of the map, but utility usage, vertical play. It feels like a copy pasta at this point with all the things that Kag is doing well. So Enterforce got their work cut out for them. They need to be perfect for 4 just to send this thing to OT if we want to have a shot at Kafe.
Are you talking they just have to fix these copy pasta, but in a positive way?
I was, yes, indeed.
I love that. Yeah, Kag is great, and they're great at taking space, leapfrogging, vertical, entry frame.
Heading out to defuse a bomb.
Oh, that's funny. Denari on the board. Going to try to slow down some of this play out of Kag Osaka. And they kind of leaned into that, right? Banshees, the Frost on the board as well, those Grismots. Really just a lot trying to make sure that they can be the pace setters here in this potential final round.
Yeah, the Enterforce fans in the chat are saying it. Potential final round, Glitter. This is not it. Our team is not done yet. They're going to find that option. They're going to find that opportunity. Playing a little bit spread out. Nina downstairs in the basement looking, a little bit of intel coming here. And, all right, can we go for the run out downstairs? Put some pressure direct on this Kag Osaka attack. I want to see that a little bit more aggressive play because... There's just some times if you just let Kag, spend all of the time that they need to open up the sight lines, they're very successful at it. So, and Shoe Reap, 11-6-2, 4K on that last round, shutting and stopping the Nomad for making some progress here. I think is going to be very important.
Minute and 47 left. First kill. Anaton's going to find one, but immediately answers back as Shoe Reap's life is forfeit from a well-placed headshot. Does find us equalized on the 4-4, but you do take a C4 off the board with that kill, and that's a huge first one. Now in a little bit of a standoff here. Oh no, siege timing might see life forfeit at the bottom of Fireplace as sits onto the window and just holding. A couple of shots, a little bit of damage. Denari now in some trouble.
No way.
Starts to some more damage as the Capitao fire starts slowly bringing them down. A second one now to ring out. They hold on to that area, and it just locked into the corner in a perfect space not to die. Huge here as he's allowed to hold on to the top of Solar.
Yeah, I think DD Man thinking got a little bit more success there trying to clear some of this out. So we're going to hold on again and thinking this is a great opportunity. Do they know that Moogie's holding on to this spot? And there it is. G finds one, takes down DD. Man, this is huge here for this team. They got to be perfect for 4, and they're sitting in a 4v3. How about a 4v1 now? As G picks up the next.
That's right, a little bit of a climb back. Moogie goes down as now we find ourselves into a 1v3. Floor is the last alive to try to bring this one back. A little bit of intel, knowing that somebody's got to be there. Oh man, the flash rings out, but it's just going to completely miss. Frost is there. They find one and get a little bit closer to tying this one up.
Let's go, E36. What a way to come back here. You need to be perfect for 4, find one. It was a great hold. Kag, I mean, they had some opportunities, but once again, the opening pick, even though it went in Kag's way, it was answered back very quickly by the Enter Force. But man, the stat line on opening picks for Kag is certainly one of the storylines for this one. Enter Force really struggled at taking that open engagement, winning that gun battle. And now as we get into the second half, the fourth quarter bans coming out, all shields as both Clash and Blackbeard go down, and that feels pretty good here. Kag was doing a better job with Blackbeard than I feel like Enterforce was for Clash, so they win to me the battle, but sort of upsets the lineup, right? If Clash was an important part of the way Enterforce wanted to hold on, you're gonna have to make some adaptations, and Kag is going full, almost full cheese on this one.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Okay, slow down city, a perfect for 3 scenario. What do they do on the side of Interforce? They want to really dictate pace here. Bringing the castle out to help solidify a little bit of extension play. Force you to bring along some gadgets to take them off, or some operators to use that utility to take them off the board. Denari and Ella with the Grismot's going to be setting up and stopping some of that forward advance. I like this defense. Is it enough?
10 seconds
Not
remaining.
Quite sure.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, good question at this point. Kag has just been better across the board, managing the vertical, holding on, clearing space, just clearing defensive utility. They've managed their attacker util better. So Enterforce has got to work it out for them. You talk about that. I like the fact that we've got the Denari, the trip connectors. It feels like Chalet is a map where a Denari has got some serious value. And I like that, Harper is going to run the Ella this time around, focus on the shields, but Kag didn't bring any of the shields this time around. They're going to work on opening up all these castle barricades very quickly. Havana, even better for that job now.
I love that a shield gets banned out and they're not just using another shield. He said, you know what? I can get active with a gun as well. I mean, it is Anaton for crying out loud. Yeah, bringing out the Nomad, a little bit of flank watch instead. And they're going to be putting some attention to the vertical here. And that first bit of contest could see Deimos getting active towards that. Not a run out. Oh. Siege timing will save the life of the defender as they drop down to the trench. And now Buck and Deimos down to put some pressure onto this vertical play.
Oh, what a run out.
For the air
no!
in
No!
place. Shoe Reap's able to take Moogie off the board. They claim that by 2 now, as vertical is still being had, as Buck is just causing that disruption up top on the second floor, and everybody's up there as well, right? They've got the Sense gadgets out, helping block that window play. Oh, honestly, that is a beautiful piece of tech right there. Solid onto the window, but it's not going to be confused for long. They find that kill and get one closer to tying up this man advantage.
It's a minute 13 left. Enterforce, it is time to freaking lock in, my friends. Kag is 1 round away from sending you to the lower bracket. What can they do right now when Kag is floating? Man, they have got to find some opportunities here. Take some shots, but right now the attacker Yuto is just devastating this team.
Takes a shot. Shoe Reap's able to find a kill by shooting him in the butt as Nina goes down. That's a tough one. Now all up to Ella to try to bring this one back into contention. If Harbar is going to see the first kill, so Nina is going to get at least 1 on the board in this 1v4. Deimos pings are going off, so the danger is here. Going to take a look towards the top, and it's not going to happen. Buck's going to find the kill. GG's will rain out in the all chat, and Kag's going to stay in the upper.
don't feel like that's an unexpected result at this point, but certainly after map 1, and this team was absolutely on fire, and they completely locked in on map 2 as well. It gave Force a couple of signs of life, a couple of opportunities, but man, when it came down to it, CAG was just better. So Force looking to see what they can pull off on that lower bracket run, but we've got one more best of 3 coming your way. We're going to take a look at Tom J's stream. As man, the ex-Chiefs roster is playing that thing out while we get our next game set up. But man, it has been some great Siege so far. Thank you everyone for joining us here on the LCQ here in Asia.
That's right. You know the deal. You know the drill. Take a look at Tom J as we get this next lobby set back up for you. Our friend, our homie, and a co-streamer for every single region at the moment. Show him some love as well. Go check him out. We'll be right back with our next set of maps. Ayo.
Let's go.